All right, a YouTube video update is overdue. So, I am going to talk a little bit about why there's been such a long gap since my last video to now. But before that, I want to tell you what's coming. My husband's been working on the telescope or the mount that we got finally, and he's been 3D printing little pieces for it to help him with cord organization and management, which is fantastic. And we are hoping to get all of it, maybe not the telescope, but the mount and the tripod out into the observatory this weekend. So when we do that, weather permitting, I will be videoing and uploading that to YouTube like crazy. So please stay tuned. You're going to want to see that because we are so excited. And I know you guys are excited for us. That is going to be so much fun. So hopefully that'll happen this weekend. But I wanted to let you know part of the reason why I haven't done a YouTube video in so long. The last 4 or 5 days, I've been in a mood. I have a mood. And I'm trying to figure out where this mood came from. And I think I figured it out. So when I get in a funky, weird headspace, I like to hunt for perspective in a forest. Like I feel like I'm in a forest of I don't know why I'm here and confusion and blah, blah, blah. But I'm hunting for perspective through it all. And I think that my perspective on this is since the beginning of March, I drive a manual transmission. So I'm going to do it this way. Since the beginning of March, the first week of March, I was in 5th gear. My brother and his wife and kids were here. We were busy every day. We were doing this. We were doing that. We were all over the place. Anyway, I was in 5th gear nonstop. And then they left. And then I might have downshifted to about 3rd gear. But we were still ramping up for the eclipse trip. So I wasn't going to slow down much more than that. I was going to, keep a pace because we had to get things organized and in the car and decided what we were doing and blah, blah, blah. So then I ramped back up into 5th gear for the eclipse trip. So I'm going and doing and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And amazing. And then we turn around and come home. Then I feel like when we got home, I finally parked my car, turned it off. I just crashed for about 4 days. I just needed to not do anything for about 4 days. And that's what I did. And that was fine. Well, then about 5 days after that, and I knew this trip was coming, my bestie was flying from Illinois and she was coming here for work and she was going to stay with us that week. And it was wonderful. I loved it. I mean, we didn't see each other the whole time because she was working. And so I had my life and she had her life. But every evening we would sit at this table. And my husband, I think he's in the basement a lot working on stuff, but I think he gave us even more time together because he knew it had been so long since she and I had just had a one-on-one. And we've known each other for 14 years. I would say we've been besties for 12. And 9 years ago, when I ended up in the psych hospital, she was the only one of my friends that stood by my side. Every other friend that I'd known, even longer than her, fell away. But she bloomed. I call her the sunflower in my garden because she bloomed. And it was just wonderful. It was such a great time. But Wednesday, the week that she was here, well, it was actually the night before, my cat, Echo, she has inflammatory bowel disease, and we've been dealing with it for 5 or 6 years. It's a lovely problem to have. Those of you who have pets with IBD, my heart is with you because it is so hard to get a grasp on. But her last flare-up was last November, so we had been doing really well. But ever since we got home from the eclipse, I felt like something was building with her. And then Tuesday night, that week that my best friend was here, she got violently ill in the family room. Now, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary for her with what she has when she has flare-ups, but the next morning she was laying under the dining room table, which she never does. She wouldn't hardly move, and she had a weird breathing sound in her nose. And I called my veterinarian's office, and my vet wasn't there, and I decided I'm just going to give it a little more time. I had appointments. I came home. I checked on her. She still wasn't okay. I took her to the pet emergency room, and this was her 9th birthday that all of this happened on. So we're there for like 2.5 hours. They give her an anti-vomit injection. They give her a mild steroid injection, and they rehydrated her. And she's been doing better ever since. But it's just when that happens on top of other things, like it's just, I don't have a 6th gear, but I need one kind of feeling. So anyway, that was that. And then that Friday, I took my best friend to the airport to see her off, and give her a ride and hug on her. And it was great. They have a cafe there. We were able to just sit by the window and talk, and then went over to the security check-in and hugged and said goodbye. And it was lovely. I had a wonderful time with her. So then after she left, then it was like, okay, now my life is fine. It's kind of like slowing down to about 2nd gear. And I don't know how to do 2nd gear. I haven't been this slow paced for months, and I'm having a hard time with it. And I think that's where this mood is coming from. It's just like I don't know how to deal with this slower pace. But even just kind of knowing that that's why helps. I also still think, some of you may think this is nuts, I still think it's the time change in the season. I have decided that spring is my least favorite season because here where we are, it's still cold. My best friend was here a week ago, and it was snowing. It's not spring. I'm wearing long sleeves. It's not spring, and it's not very green. I mean, it's getting greener and things are starting to bloom, but it's not pretty. And then if it's anything like last year, it just rained all last summer anyway, so we never even had like a good season. So, but if we have like in a month, if it's 8 o'clock and it's a beautiful sunset, or 8:30, I'll be out on my deck enjoying it, drinking a glass of wine. Like it's weird how my mind can change from month to month or situation to situation. So I know that, and I'm just trying to give myself time to get to there. But earlier, not that long ago, I was sitting here and I saw my first hummingbird come to my feeder. That even made me like, oh my gosh, that made me so excited. I got to see my first hummingbird of the season. I just put my feeder out there like a week ago. So that was really cool that a hummingbird came. But, I'm just having some trouble with but hopefully we can get the observatory, the stuff at least in it. It would be great if we could get it up and running to do some tests with it next week. If we have some clear nights, even with some wind, we might be able to test it. So there's things to look forward to. And that's pretty much, all I wanted to say about that is, and that's another thing. If you don't see me upload or do a video for a span of time, it could be because I am in a mood. And maybe it's just not good for me to do that. But I want y'all to know that I'm pretty good about hunting for perspective. I don't just let my mood take control. I try to find the root of it so I can conquer it. And I do think that makes a difference. So just know, if you don't hear from me, for a week or two at a time, chances are it's just because I'm finding my way through something a little difficult. So that's about all. But that was it. I just want to get on and give a quick update about what's to come and what we're doing and the telescope. And I'm so excited. I hope we can get that going. And but yeah, I'm just kind of in 2nd gear right now, just kind of like in a school zone, and I'm waiting to get to the place where I can kind of rev up a little bit more, because I think that I do better. I don't want to be in 5th gear the whole time, and I don't want to be in 1st gear the whole time, but it would be nice to just have kind of a steady pace for a little while, So hopefully that will come in time. But anyway, just basically wanted to say hi, give a quick update about everything. And as soon as we start doing stuff with the new mount and tripod and telescope, I will be absolutely videoing all of that as well. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your Friday. I hope you've had a wonderful week, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend to come. And we will just talk as soon as we can. Remember, self-care is not selfish. Bye now.